Pro Wrestling Report goes back to basics for 2009. First, the new and improved PWRshow.com. And then what you've all been waiting for, the original returns. The three-man team returns to TV in February. We are going back to basics, but we're still keeping along the track with our Monday night ESPN radio show. Be sure to tune in and find out more at PWRshow.com about the all-new PWRshow.com, the return of the three-man team to TV, and the continued expansion of ESPN Radio. Go to PWRshow.com for more info.
And we're with the man they call Meathead in a special close-up here.
Do you really want to get close-up with me?
This is a good distance.
Yeah, I think it's a safe
50,
distance.
50 feet away.
Yeah, I think it's a safe distance.
The man they call Meathead.
Uh-huh.
Wrestling fan since
the time I started watching wrestling?
Which was about when?
When it first started?
Which was about what year?
Oh, you wanted a real answer. Sorry, I thought it was just going to be an ass. Or a Richard.
I don't have anything to throw
I was
at
going to
you.
be a Richard, I guess. I don't know. I don't know, man. I've heard, obviously, doing the show with the guys, I've heard, Damien mention WrestleMania 3. I definitely watched WrestleMania 1, and I watched WrestleMania 2, and I watched 3, and I watched AWA. I can't pinpoint it down to a date, to an hour. I can tell you that Sunday afternoons in the Milwaukee area was always go to church, go get ham and rolls, go home and watch wrestling. Okay, so I don't know, when I was 7, 8, 9, Grandma always let us have it on in the room. So
obviously AWA was the thing that was on TV here until cable came out.
Sunday mornings, 11 a.m.
Any wrestler back then that you enjoyed watching that while you were coming
Hulk
down
Hogan.
Sunday? Hogan.
I mean, you also had guys like Spudhead, Larry Zbyszko. You had guys like Rock and Roll Buck Zumoff. You had the Freebirds. You had the Rock and Roll Express. You had guys like Bobby Heenan, who really was just coming into his own back then. So yeah, those were, and you know what I really liked? I know it's passe to do now, but I liked the bad guys. I liked a lot of the bad guys because they made me laugh.
Did you know that at the time when you were watching it, whatever age, being 6 and 10 years old?
Mm-hmm. A lot of stuff fuzzy back then. A lot of stuff fuzzy.
Is this scripted? Is this really happening? Did you have someone tell you this is not? They're not really.
I was a typical wrestling fan. I said, it is real. I mean, I wasn't an internet kid, and I cried at the end, but I bought into it. And I can't remember when I lost, when I found out about Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny, dude. I don't remember. But for a long time, I bought into it. I had the people that I rooted for, the Rowdy Pipers, the Iron Sheik. I liked Iron Sheik. I mean, I don't remember. I mean, there was a long time where I thought it was real.
Cable comes on, you get cable at home, and
we had HBO before we had cable.
Oh, okay. So here comes the WWF at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So now you have a couple things.
Rock and Wrestling, Channel 4.
Not only that, there's also probably wrestling in the South. They could have called it different. WCCW could have been back there.
Saturday mornings, Channel 18.
Sorry,
I'm like a Rain Man here.
Did you have a favorite at the time, or when you now have cable, you can watch a couple different shows? Did you?
Well, I didn't watch the wrestling at night. I was still watching Saturday and Sunday morning wrestling. We're talking Challenge, we're talking Superstars, and we're talking whatever popped up on on Saturdays on the other one, the WCCW, the Ric Flairs.
Did you still enjoy Hulk Hogan when he went to WWE or at the time?
You know what? I started to not like him so much. Yeah, not so much.
So you didn't go into you didn't take your vitamins and say your prayers?
I didn't say my prayers, and I didn't ask what I was going to do, brother. I wasn't into the top guy. I've never been a front runner. I've never rooted for the lead dog. That's not my guy. I always root for the underdog. The one that everyone else isn't rooting for, that'll be my guy. Because my guy is now just my guy. And it'll be something that I can have. Now, if everybody else jumps on later, cool, whatever. I don't really care. But, I mean, I was into JYD. I was into, like, Jake the Snake Roberts. And at the beginning, Ultimate Warrior. And, guys like that. I liked the Brooklyn Brawler for a while. I liked Barry Horowitz. Iron Mike Sharp.
Did you watch any of any other wrestling programming then besides WWE? When was
Whatever was available.
So, and again, I think it was WCCW, whatever it was called, but it was in the South, basically. Were there any wrestlers there that you enjoyed watching?
Woo!
Flair.
The Horsemen.
Yeah.
And that's where actually Savage and Steamboat Head came from too. So.
When was it when you thought, hey, I'm really into this, I'm really enjoying this, and you couldn't miss a show?
As a kid, never.
Let's say 10 years from that standpoint.
10 years from that standpoint?
Was there a time you said, you know what, I can't miss a show now?
No, there wasn't. I mean, I know that you guys might not believe that now, but there wasn't. I had other things going on. Wrestling was a passion, but it wasn't number one. I didn't grow up wrestling, I had to be this and I had to be this and I had to watch it. It's not how I grew up. I was also outside a lot too.
How did you get involved in Pro Wrestling Report?
What's that?
It's the show that some gentleman is a Democrat and some short little fat Italian
You're talking
guy in
about
the middle.
Full Force?
It could have been Full Force. It could have been...
Full Force? PWR. I know what show you're talking about. What I was doing there, folks, is I was making a joke. PWR, how did I get involved? Well, if you're able to listen to Damian Nelson's interview, I don't know when this stuff is airing. I really don't know. Matter of fact, I walk in the studio, I got mugged and told I was doing this, but Damian Nelson I met at Romines. Or Romines!
They party every day there.
Except for President's Day, Yom Kippur, and when we're doing up-close interviews, apparently. I met Damian at Romines. We had just started showing free pay-per-views. Wrestling was starting to explode. We're talking early 98, late 97, early 98. 97 is really where the wrestling era, I think, exploded. Because, it got hot in 96 with Bash at the Beach, right. The NWO. But 97 with the Montreal Screwjob, Bret Hart, Vince McMahon. So 98, we started showing pay-per-views for free. And, we got our name out there, and we started showing these pay-per-views. And, matter of fact, it might have even been 97. I don't remember anymore. It's just so long ago. But Damien came around, and he said, you know what, we're doing these shows, and we'd love to have you come around, maybe just, talk about Romines a little bit, whatever. I had a guest slot, and 98 was kind of a weird year for PWR because we were still at the old MATA facilities downtown. We were kind of like a once-a-month show. Mm-hmm. I came in, did my little thing, and at the end of the year, I called in on one of their live shows, and I was there to promote the fact that we were going a full hour. We were going to have tape shows every week, and I was being brought on to the show to be a video game consultant. Basically, that was just a way to get me on the show to talk some wrestling. It's like it was a real job, and we don't have room, but we'll make you a video game consultant, kid. You'll be fine. You'll watch the jock straps or do something. So that's how I got on. And actually, I got to be there the exact same time that Damien was interviewing Mosh and Thrasher from the Headbangers, because I was there right as he was doing it, watched him set it up, and that was the day that I met him.
So basically, you were at one of the first shows ever of PWR.
I was at the first interview. I was in the background. Kind of like I was Waldo for a minute there.
Let's fast forward to today and the difference between 1998...
I can't wear a hat on show anymore.
You can't wear a hat, can't be in shorts and flip-flops.
I can go unshaven, apparently. The best show, Frank,
if you can go out there, I've thrown the script out already.
If this is your first time watching me on camera or watching anything we do, I got ADD sometimes, and I just like to do this thing. My favorite time was when we were doing shows at Spirits, and here, I've got the jacket on, I've got the public access hair going, looking real good. We're sitting at Spirits, I got the bar, and you see this leg fall out. And it's me in shorts and my big hairy legs sticking out and wearing sandals. I'm like the judge that's not wearing any underwear underneath his robe. You know what? This isn't me. I'm the ball cap guy at the bar, sitting at the end of the bar talking wrestling. I'm talking sport. I am you. This isn't me. I just have to wear this. I'm sorry, Frank, were you doing something?
That was a question I don't remember, but what do you think?
What's the difference between the show from before? See, I can keep it here.
Yes.
I mean, the ADD, obviously, I go up, but I bring it back.
The difference between then and now.
Well, let's start all over again. I can't wear a hat.
Well, besides...
I have to wear gel in my hair now. I went through a phase where I shaved my head. Not going to do that again. I just ain't going to do that. But you know what? We, on a serious note, we've come together because we've had a lot of different people on the show. When we started in '99 to do the 1 hour, it was Damian Nelson, Carl Love, Jason Welcher, Brian Witosick, the man I was just Meathead at that point. That was something that Frank Cosentino gave me as a name, a moniker, if you will. And the show changed a bunch. Guys came and went. Hell, Jason Welcher, if we would call him and go down to South Milwaukee and look for him, I bet you we could get him on. And we'd love to have him. We love Jay. But Jay's a little off there sometimes. But Carl is off doing his own thing now. Brian went off to do his own thing. We've had other panel members on. I forget her name now, and she's probably watching this, and I apologize. But we had her on. We've also had Marty, who ended up being best friends with Josh Matthews from Tough Enough.
Yes.
And when we went to do the interview with Josh Matthews at an XWF show, Josh came up to us because he knew exactly who we were. He said, "Marty sent me over here to talk to you guys."
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. We've also had Keisha on the show, and love Keisha. I love everything about Keisha. I love her feet. I love her elbows. I love everything she's got going on. Keisha's good stuff. But we've also had Lee, and apparently there was a joke on the forum that Damian had said something to the effect of, oh my God, we want to get rid of you. Where's Lee? Please, Lee, come back. Where's Lee go? We want to just get Lee, back on the program. But we've also had Lee. Lee didn't work out. So the show is now, we've got Frank, and if you ever are able to get a hold of these archives from the Kenosha tapings, one day Damian wasn't around, and he left Frank and I to do the show together. It was about 15 minutes of real show and about 30 minutes of me holding a Goldberg and Austin dummy going, yes! Not good. I'm sorry, where were we?
We were, off script.
Bring it back.
TNA.
Yeah, I love it. Oh, no, the wrestling show. Sorry, I thought you were talking about T and
the wrestling organization they call Total Nonstop Action.
It's not Total Nonstop Arse. Sorry. TNA, what do you want to know about it?
Your thoughts. Is it something that you think it can compete against WWE programming, let's say, in the next 2 to 3 years?
Define compete.
The ratings will be on par. What would they have to do to be
WWE
where
it
could be Wrestle War 2?
Wrestle War 2, is that a pay-per-view? WWE would have to do something for TNA to be able to compete with them.
Will we ever see, in your opinion, and I'm going to get to WCW in a second, but a WWE WCW clash where it's the ratings
type clash.
The rating, where
Monday Night Wars is
where I'm going at.
No.
You don't think it'll ever happen again?
Not in the next 5 to 10 years.
Okay. Obviously, you're a WCW fan. I didn't want to make you cry. Now it's happened. We don't have
hold on. It's right there.
If you could describe WCW in a set of sentences, how would you describe it?
In a set of sentences. Have we met?
How would you...
WCW...
if someone were to say...
Think about back
to
the beginning. Thinking about back to the beginning of this interview. Take your little bar, drag it back to the beginning of the interview. What did I just say about wrestlers and the wrestlers I root for? I don't follow the lead guy. Okay?
Okay.
I follow the other guy. So that can be my guy. That's why I started watching WCW. Because it was always WWF, WWF.
WCW overtook
for
WWF
a long period of time.
In ratings.
Trust me, I walked around with a big...
weeks it was or something like that?
Right, I walked around with a big puffy chest. Trust me, I did. And then, for some reason, Eric Bischoff decided to tell Tony Schiavone to say, Mick Foley, who wrestled here as Cactus Jack, is going to win the WWF Championship. That'll put butts in the seats.
And at that moment, that's when it turned. Now that was in Eric Bischoff's book, and that was his opinion, and he went back to where ratings started to drop. Was there a time that was just before then where you thought, uh-oh, things aren't going where they need to go?
When you continually focus on the same 6 individuals over and over and over and over and over and over. By the way, I said over 6 times.
Got it.
Okay.
I'm only going to touch on this once because it'll be probably the last
No
time.
touching.
I'm not going to touch you.
Curls.
You lost one of your favorite wrestlers of all time.
Number 2 in the book. The unofficial book, I guess. I don't know.
Just to have the fans, because the fans were asking why was Meathead so quiet on that day. And
No jokes.
And it was this was the real Meathead at that point.
That was
explain
well. I'm
why
not going
you
to
were
say
such
my.
a fan.
I'm not going to say my real name here right at the moment.
I haven't got to that question
Yeah.
yet.
But that wasn't Meathead. That was.
What?
I rooted for 2 guys in WCW for the longest time. Both of them named Chris. One named Jericho. One named Benoit. I was emotionally invested in those 2 individuals. They got over with me. I don't care if it was heel, face, what they were doing. It didn't matter. So to have almost to a point of a hero. If somebody were to say that Brett Favre is their hero, and then Brett Favre goes around and does what Chris did, how do you handle that?
Yeah.
So, done.
Switch gears a little bit. You enjoy video games.
Yeah, I've been known to play with my joystick.
Video games.
Yeah, what are you supposed to play video? It's not mental.
You own what
Did
system?
you just meet me? Hell,
Well, you own what system?
what do you mean, what system? Like, I own one?
What system are you playing now?
Systems?
Systems, okay.
System of a Down? See,
They
I
have a
gotcha.
video game, don't they?
No, they don't. They're not even in existence anymore. I've got the PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, Nintendo GameCube, Xbox 360, and we'll be getting the PlayStation
What do you
3.
lean towards right now?
Right now it's the 360 I'm playing.
All right. What game?
Currently? What season is it?
Rabbit season.
No. What season is it? Funny boy.
It's the summer.
What sports season? So
Okay,
we're in baseball season.
So
We're
it's a
playing
sports
baseball.
game. Okay. Is there a game that you're looking forward to? That's coming
August 14th.
up? And what would that game be?
Vince Young's on the cover. Yeah. Is this the main event question
This
now?
is the main event question, and it's up to you how you want to answer it.
I'm going to answer it honestly.
What's your favorite food?
That's not the question. There's been
How
threads
did
on the
you
board,
get the name Meathead?
and that's the question. I don't have to answer the other one.
It's up to you if you want to go that direction.
Long story short, here we go. 1995, when I was born, September 12th, 1995, when I was born. Okay. Friend and I, we were going to play pool leagues, and he goes, I've got the perfect name. We're going to call us Archie and the Meathead. I said, what the hell does that mean? You know, because I was still me, but I wasn't me yet. He goes, well, I'm Archie. I really don't like anybody. I hate these, I hate these, I hate these. I'm like, you're Meathead, dude. You're Polish and you like everybody. Done. I like it. Go. So the last question, the real question.
It's up to you if you want to say it.
Well, see,
Your real name is.
Here's the thing. My mom is a maitre d'. Okay, she works at this restaurant downtown, and I had a friend that needed a favor. Something about this girl that he was going out with was refunding all the time. Okay, and I don't know if you know what refunding is. You know, he'd take her out on dates, and she'd throw up, so he wasn't getting his full usage out of the money he spent with her. So I hadn't talked to my mom in like 10 years, and I happened to go into the bathroom where she was the maitre d' at, or excuse me, not maitre d', a matron? What do they call the restroom? I think it's a matron. It's a maitre d' is the one that...
The place where you go to the bathroom.
Yeah, but she washes your hands for you. And we walk in together, and she goes, Cosmo! Oh, my God. The cat's out of the bag.
Last question to the fans. What would you like to say?
Thanks. I am you. That's it. I mean, there's nothing else to say.
The man they call
I do what
Meathead.
you do. I just happen to be in front of a camera.
Thank you very much, sir.
The Pro Wrestling Report goes back to basics for 2009. First, the new and improved PWRshow.com. And then what you've all been waiting for, the original returns. The three-man team returns to TV in February. We are going back to basics, but we're still keeping along the track with our Monday night ESPN radio show. Be sure to tune in and find out more at PWRshow.com about the all-new PWRshow.com, the return of the three-man team to TV, and the continued expansion of ESPN Radio. Go to PWRshow.com for more info.